SWV's rise shouldn't have happened, and the reason why has nothing to do with talent. It's because the music industry tried to stop a group it couldn't control. They were three young women from church choirs, armed with harmonies too raw and too real for a system built on polish. Their demos weren't market-tested products. They were emotional confessions recorded in small rooms with big dreams. But from the moment they stepped into label offices, one truth hit hard. The industry didn't want women who sounded like themselves. Executives wanted a formula, predictable voices, predictable looks, predictable stories. SWV broke every rule of that playbook. Coco's voice didn't glide. It cut sharp, gospel-drenched, and impossible to dilute. Labels called it too church, then too urban, then too intense. In other words, too honest for the machine. And yet this is the twist. The song the industry feared the most is the one that exploded the loudest. When Weak hit, the reaction didn't make sense to anyone in power. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't engineered. It was vulnerable. And vulnerability wasn't supposed to win in an era obsessed with image. But audiences didn't care about image. They heard emotion you couldn't fake. They heard harmonies built from lived experience, not studio guidelines. And the industry was forced to watch as a group they underestimated took over the charts. But massive success created a new problem, and this one came from inside the walls they'd fought to enter. Labels tried reshaping them into something safer, something smaller, something that fit the template they were supposed to follow. Suddenly, everything became a pressure point. The outfits, the interviews, the spotlight distribution, the sound. Every choice became a negotiation. Every success carried a warning. And every crack the industry created inside, the group began to widen. SWV wasn't just fighting for hits, they were fighting to stay themselves. Friendships strained under expectations no one prepared them for. The machine didn't care about sisterhood, it cared about control. And the group nearly broke under the weight of being everything the industry wanted, while holding on to who they actually were. But here's the part almost everyone misses. Their influence kept growing, even when the industry tried to shrink them. Girl groups that came after them copied their harmonies, their emotional range, their blueprint, often without knowing where it came from. SWV shaped a sound the system never intended to honor. And that's why their survival matters. They didn't just win awards. They didn't just chart. They didn't just sell records. They proved that authenticity can survive a machine built to erase it. SWV's real legacy isn't fame, it's resistance. It's three women who held on to their voices long enough for the world to finally understand them. And that's the story the industry never wanted told.